Hey, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss Pre-Market Report for September 29th, 2016. I am Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Here's a look at the daily time frame of the ES here. What we have is basically a trading range market for the most part that's built out, kind of bisected into two pieces, one above the line, one below the line right here. And we're just kind of chopping around. Again, we told you before that this thing is coiling up. And right now it's very difficult to call directional swing calls because really what you're seeing is price move to the edge and then quickly whip back, and then price move to an edge and quickly whip back. So you have to be very, very quick. And right now, just timing these things on an intraday basis makes a lot more sense than trying to pick something off on a swing basis. But we do see some rounded off behavior. We do know that this thing is coiling up significantly. So the time for a breakout move is approaching, but we have to be patient and wait for the time to come. Let's take a look at the intraday time frame. Here's the intraday. Basically, what we've seen so far is price rally up toward the 2166s. Price rotated back down, and then we see a lower high come in. And since then, we've kind of pushed lower back into the 2158 half key level. This has been a very important key level. You can see that price rallied back up to it yesterday, pushed through it, and then made it support before closing the day at 2162s. Now, price is back at that level after taking the previous session's close price offered. So here's the previous session's close. If price comes into it, you see VWAP and other volume measures are there. That could be a short-term area where bears want to defend for a push a little lower. Right now, 2158 half is the pivot, the main pivot. You can see it's been resistance back here, then it's support over here. So this is going to be the key level to watch. Any bounce could be seen as a selling opportunity through that level for the next zone down below, which could be 2145. So right now, again, got to be patient about the ES at the moment and continue to watch the key levels. 2158 is that key level to watch. Let's take a look at crude oil. Here's crude. If we take a look at the daily time frame for a moment, here we are. One thing you'll notice is obviously we continue to coil up in this range, but after the OPEC meeting, crude oil inventories and everything, we saw a major push to the upside in the previous session. So Wednesday's market, we saw a break above the 46s and a major squeeze into 47.5. And yesterday had a three-point range, three-handle range. It had only been averaging $1.50. Right now it's $1.58 on a 10-day basis. So that was a 2 times ADR move in the previous session. Typically speaking, a day after that can be a digestion day. Pullbacks as deep as 46 likely to be defended for a shot at continuing this thing higher. But anytime you have a major push higher here, the expectation is that bulls want to defend the pullbacks. You may see a digestion day and then perhaps a continuation. Any failure to hold above 46 would likely rotate this thing all the way back down to previous lows. Let's take a look at the intraday time frame. All right, here's the intraday. Right now, price is coiling up again. Could be a digestion day. The previous session was a major squeeze here. You can see here, once price got above the 45s, we saw price hold, and then boom, a big time push up, held above the third standard of VWAP. That's an indication of a price discovery phase. Once price got to these highs and saw a rejection point, we saw a pullback right to 46.60, and that's now where the trading range is. So this is where the digestion is occurring, 46.60 to 47.50. Look for further development in that range. Again, if prices can't hold 46.60, we could auction back toward 46s, and that's going to be a major zone there where bulls really want to defend on the swing basis. Otherwise, failure to hold that level could rotate this price all the way down to previous support. All right, let's take a look at crude, actually gold right now. Here's a look at gold futures. If we take a look at the daily time frame, here we are. What we were looking for was a potential push below support here on the 3-day lows. We got it. I mentioned that any pullback is likely to be a selling opportunity into 1334, even higher for a push continuation lower. We didn't quite get that high. Yesterday just barely pulled back to 1330, which is the FOMC level from 921. And then you can see that these highs have been offered so far and a continuation lower. The expectation is that we likely drop down into support between 1305 and 1310. So look for continued weakness here until proven otherwise. Any push above 1330 could be important and could rotate this thing back up. But remember, we're in a trading range market right now, and we're on the downswing. However, we are seeing a tighter range develop. So, when this thing drops into this area, we could see a quick bounce right back toward 1340. All right, let's take a look now at the NQ. Here's a look at the NQ. Right now, basically holding near highs. Let's hide this drawing. Here's the previous week's close. That's been the most important pivot of the week so far, and that's the 48.57 quarters. So right here, you can see 48.57 quarter was resistance on Monday. It sold away. Then the FOMC level was bid and previous lows rejected. It came back to the pivot. And then now it traded around it, perfectly above it, perfectly below it the previous session, and now we're trading just above it and right on it at the moment. So 48.57 is very, very important. We still have not tested the outer range of the previous week, so far we're working on an inside week. And really, again, nothing really to look at in the NQ from a swing perspective, at least not at this moment. Let's drop down into the intraday time frame. On an intraday basis, again, the previous week's close is very important, 48.57, and we're chopping around it. The fact that we tried to push or saw price push above these previous highs and then fail, to me, implies that we're going to test lows below this low here in the previous session's low. So we could be looking at a downtrending move short term into 48.40s, and then see what happens down here. If bulls come in and support, I think we come right back up within the trading range. So right now we have a trading range that's developing 48.45 up to about 48.76, and we got to see how price continues to develop in this range. All right, that's it for now. Let's see how this plays out the rest of the session. Good luck and trade well.